right, we wait on brother to get hooked up here. All right, family. We will commence the meeting. As the great American philosopher Jed Clampett would say, we will commence. Okay, attention, prayer. And we pray. Surely I am being turned to thee, O Allah, being upright to he who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate has he in this in my commanded, for I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults, so grant me protection against my faults, for none grants protection against faults except thee. Turn away from me the evil and indecent morals, for none can turn from me the evil and indecent morals but thee. But guide me, O Allah, to the best of morals, for none can guide to the best of morals but thee. O Allah, bless Muhammad and the followers of Muhammad as thou didst bless Abraham and the followers of Abraham. Make Muhammad and the followers of Muhammad successful as thou didst make Abraham and the followers of Abraham successful. For surely thou art praised and magnified in our midst. O Allah, we beseech your aid, guidance, and protection, your forgiveness and your mercy. We seek refuge in thee. We recognize and acknowledge that you are all in all, that you are the only reality. Thee alone do we serve and beseech for help. Thank you, Allah, for raising up in our midst a divine warner, leader, and teacher in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and now his servant, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is in their names and in their spirit that we pray and ask of you and request that we have a good session this morning. Amen. All right. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. I'd like to greet my dear beloved brothers and sisters, or my sister. Well, that's right. I got a brother on too. In the nation greeting. That's right. In the nation greetings of peace and paradise, we say Assalamu alaikum. And in this month, we also say Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan.
And we are so happy. We're so happy to be with you on this 23rd day of Ramadan. 23 days of focusing our minds on Allah and experiencing this great blessing called Ramadan. And to just think about the majesty of Allah, to consider the majesty of Allah and how he has everything so intricately woven together, how meticulous he is in the execution of his will. And I was just talking to a dear friend of mine maybe about a week or so ago. And he was saying, he said, man, you know, Ramadan seems to always come at a time when I need it. You know, because we need we need a refreshing. And so the the technology that Mr. Hubbard gave us. You know, he gives us insight into the value of resetting, starting back over, because Ramadan definitely gives you a reset. we started now, and we in the process of change now, and pretty soon we'll be back in the stop. And it's so wonderful to have this technology too. I thank Allah for Mr. Ron Hubbard, you know, who revealed this to us. As we was praying, I was thinking, because my mind actually drifted for a second there. And as I was praying, it drifted for a second. And then I caught myself, and it just came back to me, you know, what we're taught in the tiaras about how you need to do everything in a new unit of time. When we begin to study and practice, it's just not enough to just know the technology. We have to find ways to practice this technology in our everyday life. And it serves to strengthen us in many ways, strengthening our resolve, strengthening our ability to control ourselves, and to do what brother Lukman has been talking about lately with self-determination. See, one aspect of self-determination is called discipline, where you can control where you are. You can control certain aspects about yourself. You can determine for yourself what you're gonna do and what you're not going to do. And of course, Ramadan is a time of the year that we are trying to do just that. A time of year that causes us to dig in a little deeper, you know, a little deeper into ourselves. And so Allah, he puts this thing on us where we don't eat and we don't drink. You know, he gives us he gives us the most aggressive of fasts during this month for a variety of reasons. And I'm sure I will never cover all of them here, but just some of the things that I have been able to recognize is that it gives us a contrast. It gives us a contrast from our everyday life, because in our everyday life, it's not that it's undisciplined, but it's definitely not the kind of discipline that we exercise on a daily basis during Ramadan. It is a contrast from our everyday life. And so whenever we experience a contrast, we are able to appreciate the negative. You know, that's what, when you have a picture and you have a negative really shows you the contrast of the positive. The positive is the picture, the negative is what they make the picture out of. Think about that. All right. So Ramadan is such a wonderful thing for us, because it gives us the contrast, and it also it gives us the ability to strive. It gives us something. See, it gives us another player in the game of life. See, it gives you an opponent. See, when you have an opponent, see, then you have a focus. That's one reason why Allah makes for us enemies, because he wants to focus us in certain ways, because he knows if he focuses us or causes us to focus, then there are certain things that he wants us to see. He wants us to see, and then we'll see it. So he'll choose an enemy, or he'll even make an enemy for us just so he can control the focus that we have on our lives. See? So this is a month where we learn, we get into the exercise of confronting, confronting ourselves. You got to confront the physical universe. The confronting of the physical universe is different this month. The confronting of mess is different. It's an enhanced experience this month. The confronting of your body is enhanced this month. The confronting of your mind is different this month. You're sitting up here, like you said, you're sitting up here, you're trying to do something, and then all of a sudden a mental picture of a bowl of bean soup come into your mind. So you got to got to confront it, because you can't eat it or else you'll break the fast, and you've already postulated that you are going to fast. So you have to confront your body and confront your mind. Your body gives you the urge to eat. Your mind gives you the mental picture of the satisfaction that you will achieve once you eat. You see? And then we won't say confront God, but your view or your perception of God is enhanced during this month. So it's a beautiful exercise, because when you begin to confront your body, see, if you can confront your body, which is right there. I mean, I'm just saying, you get up with this body, you go to bed with this body. Confront your mind, the tricks that your mind plays on you. You go to bed with this mind, you wake up with this mind. So it's partially designed for us to get into a certain groove of confronting our body, confronting our mind, confronting the physical universe. Sometimes the days are real long. Sometimes the days are real hot during Ramadan. We have to confront these things. And so we know that in auditing, in being auditing, and in processing, the way to reduce or eliminate what we call in theta is by confronting. The process of confronting has a byproduct, which is a significant product, that we call as isness. When we begin to see things as they are. See, when you can confront a thing, see, but now, see, in the tiaras, they teach us that, see, confront, what is the definition of confronting? And we'll go to the technical dictionary too. If you pull that up, Sister Belinda, that'll be nice. The confronting means to be there comfortably. So this is what we are trying to do, or this is the goal of Ramadan. One of the goals of Ramadan is to maintain, under a little bit of stress, the ability to be there comfortably. And see, when that's a certain kind of exercise, a certain kind of spirit, a certain type of touching of the Spirit, if you would, that is very useful, because when you can be there comfortably, if you can do anything being there comfortably, that is basically the equivalent of being patient. See? And that's why tiara number 1, or the first, I think it's tiara 0 is what they call it. Tiara 0 is be there. And this is one of the things that we are really learning. You know, if we are approaching it correctly, or I should probably say to the degree that we are approaching Ramadan correctly, we are developing our ability to be there comfortably, or to develop patience. The Bible says, in your patience, therein lie your souls. The Quran says that Allah is with the patient. 103rd surah, by the time, surely man is in loss except those who believe and do good and enjoin each other to patience. So these are very important words that we would be wise to marinate on, to let our minds wrap themselves around. Let your spirit push through. Let the spirit, which is you, let it prevail. When it prevails, you know, we're training ourselves to not let the body prevail, not let the mind, which we're talking about the reactive mind mainly, don't let the reactive mind prevail. Don't let the physical universe prevail. But you. So when you get those 3 things out of the way, when you get the mind, the body, and the universe, what's left? You and Allah. So Allah points us to these things that can very well be impediments, that we can be there comfortably with the impediment. If you can be there comfortable with that impediment, then it makes it easier for you to communicate, be on the same page, and enjoy the presence of Almighty God Allah. One more thing I was trying to say too. We are in training for confronting. And so that's what you do to get the most out of your Ramadan. You know, monitor yourself. When you start getting weary, monitor yourself and confront it. When you know what I mean? When you start feeling some kind of way, when you ain't really comfortable, confront it. And by confronting it, you begin to burn away the factors that are in your mind that produce it. When you confront your body, you begin to burn away the factors in your mind that make your body an obstacle for you, that make it a problem for you. And that's one of the things that the minister was saying, that we we confront our natural urges. See, for when we learn to confront, well, he didn't say confront, but that's really what he was saying. When you confront these things, then it is easy to make the desirable connection with Almighty God, Allah himself. So confront. And another thing that we might, and I know we're gonna get to these ayats, but I just thought it would be nice to do a little overview this morning since we're on the 23rd day, so we can get a little bit more, we can kind of wipe our lens a little bit for these last 7-8 days of the fast. And then the other thing was just comfort. See, we have to be careful that we do not fall into the worship of comfort and convenience. See, the Quran said in a few days ago, it said that you know about men who take their lower desires for gods. So when you feel inconvenience during Ramadan, confront it. Bring yourself to the point where you can be there comfortably with inconvenience or the things that are anti or contra comfort. They say that's when you really make progress, is when you get out of your comfort zone. And this is part of why we have Ramadan, is to take you out of your comfort zone. And it can be a grueling exercise sometimes. You used to taking it easy. You used to laying in the bed or whatever it is, and you got to get up because you got to drink some water before the sun comes up. It's a beautiful thing, brothers and sisters. So only thing I can say is Ramadan Mubarak. It's a blessing in itself, and for Allah to bless us to take part in this beautiful month. And we're getting ready to have the Eid festival. It's going to be a beautiful festival because then we can, with the Quran teaches us, with difficulty comes ease. Allah gives you difficulty so that you can appreciate ease. And so we, in our spiritual maturity, must learn to appreciate difficulty. And when I say appreciate difficulty, I mean to see it for what it's worth. Allah takes you through this particular cycle of experience so that you can appreciate the other end. Mm-hmm. So all praises are due to Allah. Part 23. And let me get back. And then, before we do that, let me read that. Can you read that, sister? Dear wife?
I'm like them. Yes, sir. I'll be most honored to read it.
No, I wasn't talking about the Quran right now. I was asking Sister Belinda if she could
I'm
read.
sorry.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Read the definition of confront.
Confront, an action of being able to face. 2, the ability to be there comfortably and perceive. 3, confront itself is a result and an end product. It itself isn't a doingness, it's an ability. And to face without flinching or avoiding.
Think about that now. I'm going to spend just one more minute because you said something. I hadn't looked at that definition in a minute because one of them was, my definition was to be there comfortably. To be there comfortably and perceive. See, because sometimes, you know, if you can be there, but sometimes you're not really perceiving, which I guess you're not really confronting unless you're able to perceive. All right. So he says that it itself isn't a doingness, it's an ability. So that's telling you it is something that you have to develop. And this is one of the reasons why it is at the center of development when you go into Scientology. When you go into Scientology, this is what they're teaching you. I mean, if you are really a show enough Scientologist, because see, you can go in and get audited and not necessarily be a Scientologist because you don't have to believe in this stuff for it to work. But that's one reason why on Mr. Hubbard on the bridge, he's got two sides of the bridge. He's got one for auditing, where they can audit you and help you to confront, you know, all of these things that need to be confronted and erased and developed. But then on the other side, you have the training, where you train to become an auditor. And the thing is that if you train to become an auditor, whatever wins that you get from being audited are amplified. They're greater. If you are an auditor yourself, your understanding, your comprehensive knowledge is greater as an auditor than if you are just being audited. And this is part of what we're trying to do with STW too, is give a little bit of the training and a little bit of the training and a little bit of the auditing. Because the auditing, we get audited every time we come on the call. It's called a Straightwire. All right. So all praises are due to Allah for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I'll go ahead on to say the Honorable L. Ron Hubbard. I thank Allah for L. Ron Hubbard. I love him. He's my brother in faith. You know. So anybody can say what they want to say about black Muslims hating all white folks. It ain't true. I say it in public. I love L. Ron Hubbard. And don't know where I would be today without him. Now, he couldn't have done the job alone. He just was the maker of the tools. You see. So I just wanted to say that. See, for the rest of the month, let's confront. Confront. That's how you get the most out of your Ramadan. Allah gives you during the fast, he gives you something directly to confront. He gives you some material to work on. So whenever you feel like something is inconvenient, zero in on that. Confront that. Burn it up. shoot that laser beam of attention on it. Drown it out, and you'll become a better Muslim. Praise is due to Allah. All right. So, my sister Haviva, I have got to get to this page here. We're starting off at part 23. And we will start out today with 20. We're gonna do 21 and 22, but just read 21 right now, then we'll comment on that one. Then we'll get you to read 22 right after that.
Brother Martin, I have 22. Is that what you're referring to out underneath?
Oh, that's right. My bad. That's right. Because I said that because I looked at it, and I'm looking right at where it says part 23. So go ahead on 22. You're right. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. In the name of Allah, the Magnificent and Most Merciful. Surah 36, Yatsin, part 23, ayat 22. And what reason have I that I should not serve him who created me and to whom you will be brought back? Shall I take besides him gods whose intercession, if the beneficent should desire to afflict me with harm, will avail me not, nor can they deliver me?
Okay. Thank you.
So,
All right. What reason have I that I should not serve him who created me and to whom you will be brought back? And see what it is that I think if we one approach to Ramadan, let's confront the scriptures. Let us find some ARC with these scriptures. What reason? Look at that. Look at this word he's given us here now. Look at the wording he said. What reason? And what that does is that serves to give us perspective on all of this. You got to have a reason. What is the role of reason in our lives? Reason. It is the thinking that connects one thing to another or one incident to another. What reason have I? The Bible says, come, let us reason together. See if we got a definition for reason in the technical dictionary. Belinda, please. I would like to do that first if we can. If so.
Okay, 1 second. It's coming.
Yeah, it's there. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll read it. Reason. It's a very simple device by which a person's ability to estimate effort is measured. That's his reason. And see, I love this definition here because this definition here, Brother Luke Munn, this definition, boy, it strips that bad boy down to the least common denominator. A simple device by which a person's ability to estimate effort is measured. That's his reason. And then number 2, effort plus intention is reason. So we got thought, emotion, effort. Reason. Oh, wow. How about that? And I guarantee you, I did not read that. I didn't read any further. It says, Reason has to include the thought plus the effort. Thought plus effort is reason. Ooh, wee. I don't know if anybody else jumped up in their seat on that one. See, we out here flirting with, excuse my French, damn near immortality. This is what we flirting with. So thought plus effort.
Brother Bateen,
Yes, sir.
that word intention, I just came across actually while I was studying, and L. Ron Hubbard mentioned that intention is on the wavelength above 40, tone 40.
Okay. What book was that, brother?
Right now I'm going through a Philadelphia doctorate course, and he mentioned intention is above 40 on the tone scale.
Okay. Okay. So what he said, so what reason have I that I should serve him? In other words, why should I serve? How would it serve my thinking? If my thinking is the essence of me, how would this serve my thinking? If I do not serve the one who created me. Now I realize, Allah, you created me. So how does it serve me how does it serve my thinking if I don't serve the one who created my thinking? Who created you and to whom you will be brought back. So here we are beings that when we die, our beingness, the soul returns to Allah according to the Quran. And so how would it serve me that I should not serve the one who put me out there in the first place? Now, no, I got to come home. Now, why would I want to burn my house down? And I know I got to come home. Why would I call my mama up on the phone and cuss her out knowing I got to come back to her house? Ain't nobody feeling me this morning, are you?
Yes, sir, I'm feeling you, brother.
Well, feeling Allah. You feeling Allah because Allah knows. See, Allah knows better than anybody. I ain't never heard a lecture like this before.
You got the ghost.
That's right. I got something. We got something is going on here. And this Ramadan has been like that. And it seems like it all kind of came to a head maybe about 15 or 20 minutes before we got on this morning, where it just talks about, well, maybe we should capsulate this whole thing of Ramadan. See, so when you start thinking about Ramadan is about confronting inconvenience. It's about confronting and controlling urges, then if we take a certain posture when we are confronting, then we maximize the benefit that we're getting through Ramadan. Man. And then we come this first ayat. What reason? What, and then when we break it down in the dictionary, effort plus intention is reason. And Brother Lukman brought it out about the intention being a high tone level. And so in intention, in that word, you got intention. And when you break that word down, intention, you can get the word tense. Tense. Intense. Intense. Intensity. Effort plus intention. So you got a thought, an emotion, effort, intention. Ooh. I ain't never really tied it up with that formula before. And then especially when brother remind us that how high intent, well, we know intention is all up there with postulates, and postulates, just depending on, you got different depictions of the tone scale, but I would think that the Philadelphia doctorate course is going to probably take you, because that's when you start talking about what they talk about in Scientology as the OT, the operating thetan, which is the highest level of Scientology development. So these are some of the basics and the fundamentals that they study. But it ain't above your pay grade and my pay grade, because Allah, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, he came and he made all of us OTs.
Yes, sir.
We're just in the position right now. We're bringing ourselves, or we're being drawn into the position where we can rediscover the immortality in ourselves. And we are learning how to fine-tune our efforts, how to fine-tune our prayers. That's what we're doing now. We fine-tuning Ramadan. That's what we've been doing. It's the best Ramadan I ever had. I never had a Ramadan that compares to this Ramadan. Some of it's got to do with the pandemic. Some of it has got to do, with the commitment that we have made, to look closer at the treasures that our God have laid out for us in these books and in the things that he has caused us to study. When I think about it, I love the Quran. Don't get me wrong. I love the Quran, but it don't compare to message to the black man. You got people all around the world reading the Quran. They can memorize and recite the Quran, and they dead as a damn doornail. And you got people in the Church of Scientology. They OTs, but they dead too. By their own standards, I can take their own standards and prove that you ain't all the way clear. Clear is a relative thing. And I ain't saying it because I'm clear, because I ain't clear. Even though Allah gives me hints. He gives me hints of clarity. He gives me hints of what being clear looks like, or how it would fit into my scenario. And I think this technology is here to give us hints as to what we should pray for. See, when you studying, you studying yourself. Everything that you get out of this class, out of the Philadelphia doctorate course, whatever it is that you get, you are looking for something that is real to you. And that's why in some of the processes, I think it might be standard operating procedure 8C, if I'm not mistaken. They talk about find something in this room that is real to you. But see, when I start saying stuff like that and going down, see, I'm going all the way down to the bone. I'm talking about ain't no meat left on the bone, ain't no fat on the bone, ain't nothing. But excuse my French, nothing but the butt naked goodie. If you can get to what I'm saying. I ain't trying to be vulgar. I'm just trying to use some concept that maybe you can understand. And then understand your brother. I'm just a little bit of a rebel anyway, but forgive me for that. But that's what we at, man. I ain't here to play. I don't have time to play. And neither do you. So I hear you, Sister Cheryl. I think I'm feeling some ghosts or something here this morning on this, because man, it's just so beautiful. Okay, let's move on. Boy, 40, almost 10, 50. We're almost done. We hadn't been on but one eye. We hadn't even been able to listen to Sister Haviva's beautiful voice, but on one eye yet. So, all right. So we're gonna turn her loose here. Let's look at 35.
Ayah 35.
Excuse me. 34 and 35. Let's try that.
Yes, sir. Ayah 34. And we make therein gardens of date palms and grapes, and we make springs to flow forth therein, that they may eat of the fruit thereof, and their hands made it not. Will they not then give thanks?
Thank you, sister. And the thing that got me about that was getting me about that particular verse is the way it says, their hands made it not. See, we can go to the grocery store, or we can be a farmer. But and we procure food, and the farmers grow food. But who made it? Where did it come from? It comes from Allah. And we are so quick to not give the great God the credit for just the food, just the fact that you can go out on a tree. You can find a tree. You can go out in the woods sometime here in Georgia and find a tree with apples on it, wild apples. and you can eat that and it will sustain your life. Or even the produce and things like that's grown and cultivated. Allah gave it to us. When we go out and we breathe the air, where did it come from? We make them in gardens of date palms. Have you all ever seen a date palm? The first time I ever saw one, we were, Belinda and I, we were in Egypt. And I mean, just palm trees. And you can see the dates up there. I mean, it's almost like thousands of dates look like up at the top of the palm tree. And that picture just came to my mind when we were saying that matter of fact, we were in Egypt about a week before Ramadan started. And by the time we was about to come back to America, that's when Ramadan started. And they were so festive. Everybody was looking forward to Ramadan. So anyway, step in now if you need to step in.
Well, you know I'm going to step in.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. That's right, because you put your hand up. I'm sorry, sister.
That's okay.
You put one of them golden hands up, so I didn't know whether that was the Holy Ghost hand or...
Well, I have to say this. I may be digressing a little bit, and this is addressed to you and Brother Lukeman. I am convinced that we are OTs just from listening to these lectures. And Dianetics is helping us get off the garbage. We're, as Black people, I want both of you all to comment on this. I feel we're already OTs, and we are going to be the gods that's going to create the new energy. We even have to create for our families who are unaware until they can get on the path. So I want you all to kind of address this. This came from reading our verses here, but that's what I feel. And Brother Lucas, and he's on the Philadelphia lecture. We are already OTs. Caucasians have to get to that. We just have to get off the garbage that somehow we created for ourselves. So I hope that's not away from what you all are talking. If you could address that.
Yeah. Let me just say it right quick before I forget it. Let's see the way our relationship to that and the OTs, and I'm sure Brother Lukeman can relate to what I'm saying. See, we are like musicians. Black folks are like musician virtuosos that are born with the talent to play music. That if we get schooling, good, it's better for us. Yeah, it's always better to get some kind of schooling. But if we don't get the schooling, we still got the talent. We can still bring the flavor. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas the Caucasians, they rely more on the training, which can't say, I mean, I'm not downplaying that at all, especially because the white man have got it. Many of those in the church, are very proficient. So in other words, they have the theory. They have more theory, and they seem to be adept to the theory more so than just being naturals. You and I, we are natural, organic OTs, where they are. It's just like the white man learning how to play jazz. He ain't know nothing about no jazz. We invented jazz, and then the white man studied it. The white man began to develop the theory of it, and then through the study and the theory of it, then he's able to play it too. You know, Larry Bird, the great basketball player, and he was a great basketball player. I don't care how he got to be that. He was a great basketball player. You know, he got to be great. He didn't come with no natural talent, because you could just look at how he moved and dribbled the ball. It wasn't very much natural looking about him. You know, but he became so dedicated to learning and internalizing the fundamentals of the game that, you know, at the last second shot, you could always throw that ball to Larry Bird, and Bird will put that bad boy in the hoop without even thinking about it. See? So we have different routes, and see the advantage that we have, because we are the chosen people, is that we have the organic OT thing going, plus we're getting the theory and, you know, and the schooling part of it. And that's what makes us outstanding. I ain't mean to cut you off, Luke Mom, but you know, this Ramadan, sometimes I forget real quick, and I hope I didn't make you forget.
Oh no, sir, I'm listening to you. I'm actually on the road traveling, but I'm listening to you, brother. The thing that comes to my mind is, well, there's two things. One is, right in our 13 rules of instruction, it says that what we've been given of the lessons is the fulfillment of everything. So, you know, what that tells me is everyone, and I say this with humility, even the Church of Scientology, they're waiting for us to wake up to get
Amen.
them to where they gotta go.
That's right. That's right. So we can direct that which they have.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My sentiments exactly. All praise is due to Allah. Well, let's move on.
Thank you both, brothers.
Go.
You're very welcome.
Praise be to Allah. All right, let's go to 47, Sister Haviva.
Yes, sir. Ayat 47. And when it is said to them, spend out of that which Allah has given you, those who disbelieve say to those who believe, shall we feed him whom, if Allah please, he could feed? You are not but in clear error.
Yeah, so that goes back to another verse in the Quran. It says that what I do is for me, what you do is for you. So the thing is that Allah, he admonishes us to give in charity for ourselves. See, when we give of what Allah has given us, it acts as sort of a spiritual tonic. You know, tonic, like tonic, where you take a little tonic, your stomach a little upset. Take what we used to do in the old days, take some 666. That's a hell of a name for a tonic, though. It takes some 666. I would have preferred it be what, 667 or 7. I might get spooked not taking some 666 today. In this day and time. That's real too. But that's what it is. See, whenever you're able to give, see what you're doing, you're confronting a certain aspect of yourself that is undesirable of Allah, and that is niggardliness. Niggardliness is when you want to hoard everything, Allah and bless you with something, And then he said, well, all right, I'll increase this for you if you give a little bit of it away. And then on another level, just your nature. See, it's just your nature. You know, what did the verse say? It said, spend out of that which Allah has given to those, have given you, you know. So what that does when you spend, you know, in the way of truth, you opening up channels. You have to open up. If I got it in my pocket is, if it's in a purse, you know, you got to open up the purse to get it, to give it. So when you open it up, then it's not only is it open for you to give, but then it's open for you to receive too. See, and as I was saying, it acts sort of like a tonic, you know, for the spirit to just keep yourself loosened up. You know, Allah don't want you to fix your mind on no money. He don't want you to fix your mind on money. But we just have a tendency to do that because, you know, like the Bible said, money answers everything. Ain't nobody on this call couldn't use a few extra ducats, as they say. So, I mean, that's real. But Allah is just letting you know, don't let yourself get all fixed on this money, on these material things, because see, when you fix your mind on these particular things, then what you really need, since you fixed on this thing, what you really need might pass right by you. Okay. All right, so let's go to 54.
Ayat 54. So this day, no soul is wrong in art, and you are not rewarded art, but for what you did. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Thank you, sister. No soul is wrong in art, or no soul is wrong at all. That's my understanding of that. You know, no soul is wrong at all, and you are not rewarded at all, but for what you did. And then, of course, he adjusts that. Sometimes he says that you're rewarded for the best of what you did. And then a couple of days ago or yesterday about how you get a double reward. You understand? But Allah blesses whom he pleases. He chastises whom he pleases. So that addresses to me the suspicions. See, now we need to dig into some of these suspicions that we have about Allah. You know, that Allah ain't gonna give us our due. Just because we don't see it right now. I want it right now, Allah. And so if he don't give it to me right now, then now I'm gonna start getting suspicious. Oh, is he really gonna give me what he said he was gonna give me? Is he really gonna keep his promise? You know, he been telling me about that money, good home, and friendship, and all walks of life. And I ain't got no money. I ain't got no home. And we are taught that the followers of Muhammad followed him with doubt and suspicion. See, because we can't hold a thought in our mind. See, that's part of what L. Ron Hubbard came to show us or give us some insight into it, is to how to hold a thought in your mind. Or even to how to hold it in place, how to repel it, and how to bring it in. And that's part of what these tiaras do. Oh man, we're gonna get on these tiaras big time. Inshallah. We're gonna have an academy. Gonna be down near your hometown, brother president. We're gonna be down in Jamaica on the mountains. We're gonna be looking out into Montego Bay or Ocho Rios or someplace like that. And we're gonna be on these tiaras, and then we're gonna be getting our people ready.
That's right. That's right.
Getting ourselves ready. I'm postulating it. I'm putting it out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if it don't come tomorrow, if it don't come next week, I ain't gonna get suspicious.
It's coming.
I ain't gonna think I've been done wrong. But we just have to understand that Allah does things, what the minister say, in his own good time. That means he knows when. He knows when to do it. So what we have to do is we have to learn how to be here comfortably. We have to learn how to be patient. Why? Because Allah is with the patient.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time, surely in loss, except those who believe and do good and enjoin each other to what? Patience. And truth, of course, but we're talking about patience. See. So Allah ain't gonna, man, He's not gonna cheat us. He's not gonna cheat us, but he just what he's doing. But see, he's given us this weight now. So now we want to be the rulers of the earth, right? We want to be the rulers. We want to be on the top. All right, but man, that's a lot of weight to carry that whole earth. There's a lot of weight. So if you want to develop your ability to carry weight, if you want to develop your strength, then Allah has to give you something like a weight for you to lift, for you to do some reps, for your body, your mind, and the soul to become acclimated to this new level of burden, because it is a burden to a degree. It ain't gonna be all milk and honey. And that's what we have to go through it. I just don't see it being all milk and honey. Not when the scripture talks about that the 144,000 would be ruling with a rod of iron. That don't sound like no milk and honey to me. Now, Allah knows just the right mixture of milk and honey to mix into the scenario to keep us moving forward. But we need to get it in our minds. We got work to do. We got work. See, we got work to do for our people. Our people are buried in ignorance. So we got to first dig ourselves out, got to dig ourselves out first, lest we shovel dirt on our people. You see. Interrupt me if you need to. 68.
Yes, sir. Ayat 68. And whosoever we cause to live long, we reduce to an abject state in creation. Do they not understand?
I just thought that was an interesting thing because we got I think Brother Lukeman was saying it in one of his presentations we were talking about, where we talk about the cycle of action. The cycle of action can be depicted in many different ways. We talked about start, change, and stop. And then I think it's, what was it? Create, grow, then decay, then death. I might not be complete in that, but you get the picture that Allah allows us to live long, but when you live long, you have that point in the cycle of life, the cycle of action. Life is an action. It's a unit action. You get to that point where you begin to decay. You know. And this is the way that Allah has it. But he says too, he says that the period is fixed, but you and I fix it. And we are given examples in How to Eat to Live and some of the other teachings that talk about how the scientists they normally live about 500 years. That's sort of like an average lifespan, according to Brother Jabril, about 500 years. And when they get ready to die, they just start to eat. They just start eating. All right. Let us go to 77.
Ayat 77. Does not man see what we have created him from the small life germ? Then lo, he is an open debutante.
What was that?
I think that's disputant. The last
disputant. Thank you for my correction.
Oh, it's all good. You know, we got you, God. I'm God. We all God. You know?
Disputant. I've been saying that for a long time, debutante. Oh, yes, sir. I'm going to notate that.
Yeah, I'm like that with a lot of different things. Like for years, I used to call Havarti cheese Havarati.
You said disputant. Okay.
Yeah, disputant. In other words, someone who disputes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. And see, that's what I'm saying. See, now this is that, and I'm proud to say, the STW clearing. See, when we start looking at, I mean, it didn't originate, but this is just certain techniques that we have been able to coin over the years. And that's another thing I'm proud to say, over the years, disputing, so you look at the word and just see what the word is, that there are derivations of it, of dispute.
So is that someone who disputes? Is that a disputer?
Right. Exactly. And I just ordered this book. Well, I got it on Kindle. That's talking about prefixes. What actually is called affixes, where you have a prefix, which is comes before the word. Where you have to say you have the word credible. The prefix could be that's incredible. All right. And then so let me see if I can find this right quick. So, and then you have the suffix.
It don't matter. I done cleaned this 2 or 3 times already. I'm not worried about it.
All right, I'm trying to find suffix, prefix. In other words, I thought I had it here. I don't have it, but you got the prefixes and the suffixes. They are called affixes. They add they are things that are added on the beginning or the end of a word, and they actually alter the meaning of the word. But you understand it by understanding the root word that they are altering. You see?
Okay.
All right. And somebody just said, well, I don't know if that was that Belinda that you just said about what a disputant would be someone who disputes. A militant would be someone who has a militant attribute. A disputant would be one who has that, one of his attributes or qualities would be to dispute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it says, does not man see that we have created him from the small life germ? Then lo, he is an open disputant. In other words, Allah is just trying to say, man, look, do you realize where you came from? I mean, do you, I'm trying to cut you a little slack here, man. I'm trying to give you a little bone to chew or something like that. You know you didn't create yourself, but you just come all out here like you all of that in a bag of chips with salsa. In other words, he's saying you ain't got no right, man, to think like that. You are totally out of place in your thinking. Your thinking is taking you further from reality instead of bringing you into reality. Okay? All right, so we're moving on to the next surah now. Surah 37, ayat 3 and 4.
Ayat 37. I'll talk about those ranging in rank. Section 1, unity will prevail. Ayat 1. Did you say 3, sir?
3 and
You
4.
said 3. Yes, sir. And those who recite the reminder, surely your God is one.
Mm-hmm.
Allah.
Go ahead on and read all the way up to 10.
Yes, sir. Ayat 5. The Lord of the heavens and the earth and what is between them, and the Lord of the eastern lands. Surely we have adorned the lower heaven with an adornment, the stars. And there is a safeguard against every rebellious devil. They cannot listen to the exalted assembly, and they are reproached from every side, driven off. And for them is a perpetual chastisement, except him who snatches away but once. Then there follows him a brightly shining flame. Allahu Akbar.
Go ahead on. Just keep going to 15. Not to 16. I'm sorry. Keep going to 16.
Ayat 11. So ask them whether they are stronger in creation or those other whom we have created. Surely we created them of firm clay. Nay, thou wonderest while they mock. And when they are reminded, they mind not. And when they see a sign, they seek to scoff and say, this is nothing but clear enchantment. When we are dead and have become dust and bones, shall we then be raised? Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Yeah, so basically what I'm seeing here with this particular, all of this, the additional ones, the additional ayats that I wanted to be read, is that Allah is talking about he's talking about the rebellious devils. And the problem with the devil, But then again, when I think about it, maybe not, but we'll say the followers of the devil, they have a problem with what brother Lukeman brought out the point of the reality of self-determination. See, they have a problem with self-determination because they don't really realize who they are. They haven't been able to locate themselves in space and time, or in reality. They want thou wondereth while they mock, and when they are reminded, they mind not, and when they see a sign, they seek to scoff, and they say this is nothing but clear enchantment. Yeah, from your viewpoint, it's enchantment, because your viewpoint, you're not even sure where you're viewing from. The people with the vaccination, they don't really know where they're viewing from. See, you and I are viewing, have the viewpoint of Allah through the minister. So we are able to better determine who we are, or to locate ourselves in space and time in reality. Where if you are dead, if you are serving a mystery God, then the whole basis of your viewpoint is unknowingness, it's mystery, it's confusion. You see? And so it started off and saying, those who recite the reminder, surely your God is one. Allah has given us, he's given us the viewpoint that we need to be able to navigate in this hellhole called the United States of America. And I, like the minister said, I would love for this country to turn around and do right. But you're not gonna force me to say that you are right, or you are righteous, that you ain't racist, because I'm scared you're gonna take a couple of pennies from me. All right, y'all tracking with me today?
Yes, sir.
All right, 8, Sister Haviva.
Did you say 8, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
That's in where we at, Brother Martin?
No, she read all the way through 16. So
Oh, my bad. Ooh, help me, Jesus. The right Jesus, the real. We talking about the real Jesus now. We ain't talking about that cracker.
You got the ghost.
Said the Jesus is a cracker because, hey, we came over here on Jesus, and they cracked. Once we got on Jesus, they cracked the whoop. So that's an appropriate name, the cracker Jesus. But anyway, they cannot listen to the exalted assembly, and they are reproached from talking about the devils from every side. And why? Because number one, they have their intelligence is low, and it could be they have a low tone scale position when it comes to the divine, because their function is to oppose divine. See, and so they have a low tone scale position. All right, 25.
Yes, sir. Ayah 25. What is the matter with you that you help not one another? Allah.
Yeah, Allahu Akbar. Right. So, what is the matter? That's a good question. And like the minister said, the answer is better than the question. Why don't we help each other? Because everybody, see, everything has been taken. One reason is why everything that has been taken from all of us. I'm talking about Black people. Everything has been taken from us. And so we have developed such a hunger. Mr. Hubbard talks about scarcity. See, scarcity has been developed. Scarcity of things, scarcity of anything. When you are totally stripped of what is yours, then you have nothing. And so when you have nothing, the opposite of having nothing is having everything. There's a certain energy of having nothing, which we don't want, and there's a certain energy of having everything, which we do want. So that's one reason we want advantage. We want advantage. We want material things. We want spiritual knowledge. All of these things that we don't have, that are scarce to us, we want it. And so it's natural for us to want it. But see, what happens is that when these things are presented to us, then we get a little crazy, because it brings out the immaturity in us. So we won't help one another because we're trying to get everything for ourselves. So we like dogs at a meat market. That dog ain't trying to help because we're on the level of an animal, on the level of the beast. You know, the dog ain't trying to go and get a piece of meat and give it to another dog. That dog trying to get a piece of meat for himself. And if you try and you get close to that meat, then now you're in a dog fight. So it's that thing called havingness. We need to study that concept, havingness. You know, because Mr. Hubbard talks about beingness, doingness, and havingness. And so I think that's as far as we'll go today. I did want to mention that we have that I discovered this book we were talking about, and I'm always in my studying, even the studying in my head, I'm looking at these words and at the affixes that are on these words, and I said, I wonder, do they have a dictionary? And sure enough, they got a dictionary of affixes, or definitions of prefixes and suffixes. So when we see these words, you know, we can understand them much more readily. You see, and they've got them. They've got some of them on. You could go to let's see, Amazon. See, one day we're gonna have a black Amazon one day. It's one called some guy. He's actually from India. Useful English affixes, and this they got a Kindle. I don't know if anybody's got Kindle. If you got a Kindle reader, it's like $2.99. That's the one I got. Then they got the paperback. It was $8.99. And I think this is just something good for, and I see a couple of other things that I'm going to buy too. A dictionary of synonyms, antonyms, homophones, homonyms, homophones, homographs, catonyms, combining forms. All of these things, we need to know this language. We need to master this language in order to master ourselves. Or we need to know, by knowing the language, it will certainly make it easier and quicker in our mastery of ourselves. So may Allah bless each and every one of you with the light of understanding. And if there's anything that anyone would like to say before we close out, please do so at this time. All right. Thank you so much. May Allah continue to bless you. and we will do our end of session exercise now, which we know Sister Jacqueline had some other commitments today. She couldn't be with us, and I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give you a little. Mine is a little different than hers, and I think I'm gonna get her to kind of mix them up where we won't do the same one every day. All right. So right now, just sit back and relax for a minute. Take a minute just to get yourself ready to come back up to surface. Brother come in late. All right. So now I want you to notice your ceiling in your room. Thank you. Now notice the floor in front of you. Thank you. Notice the wall to your right. Thank you. Now notice the wall to your left. Thank you. Now notice the wall right in front of you. Thank you. Now, without turning your head, just notice the wall in back of you. Thank you. May Allah bless each and every one of you. Brother Basir, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the session ends around 11:30. Anyway, we glad to see your handsome face. Anyway, so anyway, Sister Belinda will be getting the recording of this session as soon as it. We have to wait on Zoom, and we got about 2 or 3 things that's recording this thing to populate, and so you'll be able to see it then. All right, so we're going to bring this to a close, and I want to ask Brother Clinton if he would close us out in prayer.
Yes, sir, most certainly. Let's assume the position of prayer, a position that is most comfortable to us. Attention prayer. In the most holy name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the world, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. Master of the day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, and thee alone do we beseech for thine aid, O Allah. Guide us on the right path, on the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, or those who go astray after hearing thy teaching. Say he, Allah is one. Allah is he of whom none is independent, but upon whom we all depends. He neither begets nor is he begotten, and there is none like him. I bear witness that none deserves to be served and worshipped beside Allah, who appears to us in the person of Master Father Muhammad, to whom all praise is due forever. I further bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is the exalted Christ, and that the honorable Minister Farrakhan is the Messiah in our midst. Ameen.
Amen. Brothers and sisters, go in peace. May Allah continue to bless each and every one of you. And we shall be back here, inshallah, at 10 a.m. in the morning for our regular STW session. Allah bless you again. Love you all. Look forward to seeing you.
Yes, sir.
Call us if you need us.
Yes, sir.
And you can even call if you don't need us.
Okay.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.